Genesis 14 1-24. Today's reading describes war between 4 kings from Mesopotamia and 5 kings from the Jordan Valley. Abram's nephew Lot, who was living in Sodom, is captured. Abram organizes a military strike and rescues Lot and recovers everything the enemy had taken. Melchizedek, a priest and a king of Salem, blesses Abram. Melchizedek brought bread and wine to Abram, blessed him, and said, "May the Most High God, who made the heaven and the earth, bless Abram." Abram rescued Lot. 4 King Amraphel of Babylonia, Ariot of Elasar, Chedorlaomer of Elam, and Tidal of Goim went to war against 5 other kings: Bera of Sodom, Bersha of Gomorrah, Sinab of Admah, Semeber of Zeboim, and the king of Baalar or Zoar. These 5 kings had formed an alliance and joined forces in the Siddim Valley, which is now the Dead Sea. They had been under the control of sea for 12 years, but in the 13th year they rebelled against him. In the 14th year, C and his ally came with their armies and defeated R in in the mountains of Edom, pursuing them as far as on the edge of the desert. Then they turned around and came back to Kadesh. They conquered all the land of the Amalekites and defeated the Amorites who lived in. Then the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah drew up their armies for battle in the Siddim Valley and fought against the 5 kings against 4. The valley was full of tar pits, and when the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah tried to run away from the battle, they fell into the pits, but the other 3 kings escaped to the mountains. The 4 kings took everything in Sodom and Gomorrah, including the food, and went away. Lot, Abram's nephew, was living in Sodom, so they took him and all his possessions. But a man escaped and reported all this to Abram, the Hebrew, who was living near the sacred trees belonging to Mamre the Amorite. Mamre and his brother Eshcol and Aner were Abram's allies. When Abram heard that his nephew had been captured, he called together all the fighting men in his camp. In all, 318 in all, and pursued the 4 kings all the way to Dan. There he divided his men into groups, attacked the enemy by night, and defeated them. He chased them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus, and got back all the loot that had been taken. He also brought back his nephew Lot and his possessions, together with the women and other prisoners. Melchizedek blesses Abram. When Abram came back from his victory over C and the other kings, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in Shaveh Valley, also called King's Valley. And Melchizedek, who was the king of Salem and also a priest of the Most High God, brought bread and wine to Abram, blessed him, and said, "May the Most High God, who made heaven and earth, bless Abram. May the Most High God, who gave you victory over your enemies, be praised." And Abram gave Melchizedek 1/10 of all the loot he had recovered. The king of Sodom said to Abram, "Keep the loot, but give me back all my people." Abram answered, "I solemnly swear before the Lord, the Most High God, maker of heaven and earth, that I will not keep anything of yours, not even a thread or a sandal strap. Then you can never say, 'I am the one who made Abram rich.' I will take nothing for myself. I will accept only what my men have used. But let my allies, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, take their share." 14-16. So Abram was depicted as a righteous man, someone who is skilled in fighting. He also is strategic, and he's influential because he can call like together people to fight for him, and he succeeded. Well, it doesn't surprise me because I already kind of know it, but I think it's a little bit surprising because I think when I first read it, yeah, I was a little bit surprised because like Abram was the same person who was afraid of the Egyptian king, and so like he lied about his wife because he was afraid for his life. And I guess when he left Egypt, during that whole process, he actually accumulated a lot of like possession, and also that he gained a lot of influence. That's why he's able to gain allies and everything. So when I first read it in the Bible, I think it was a little bit surprising. So Melchizedek, right here, blessed him, brought bread and wine to Abram. That's kind of like a communion kind of like thing, and blessed him. And then Abram gave Melchizedek a tenth of the loot he has recovered. So tithe. Melchizedek was the high priest of God, and he was, I think, king of Salem also. Right here. Yeah, he was king and he was priest. And so I've heard that my pastor said that usually, only Jesus is both a king and a priest. Like usually those roles are distinct. Those roles are, you're either a king or you're either a priest for God. You don't mix the two. But Melchizedek is kind of like a picture of Christ, or even some people said that he was Christ, like who, like I guess an image of Christ, or what was it called? I don't remember, but it's kind of like an image of Christ in the Old Testament. So yeah, I forgot the word for it, but it's like Christ appearing in the Old Testament, and it's also interesting that he is the king of Salem. I think Salem. Oh no, I thought Salem in peace. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. So it's I just so that's all I know about Melchizedek. Amen.